Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the final of Season 1 of the Charity FPL Chess League in aid of Cancer Research UK. Over the last 3 months or so, 18 FPL players have been battling it out on the chessboard, and it all comes down to tonight's game. And I am joined by Az. How are you doing, mate? Are you looking forward to the match?
I'm good. Well, I'm not glad I'm not in the final, but I'm glad I don't have the stress of being in a final. And I was safe in League One, so it's been a pretty good season for me, I think, in this.
Yeah, great. So, yeah, just to let you know how we got here. It was three groups of six. So we've already had Division 2 and Division 3 wrapped up. So we've seen Owen Maloney get promoted from Division 3 and Axel Tan promoted from Division 2. And this week we've already had two matches which have been promotion playoffs. So the second place team from one league playing the fifth place team of the league above. And FPL Slovakia retained his place in Division 2 after beating FPL Mac. And then on Wednesday, I just about managed to retain my place in Division 1.
Getting relegated from your own league, Joel. It's the worst.
Yeah,
Avoided it.
I'm pleased I managed to keep myself in and amongst the big boys. But yeah, tonight we've got the top two of Division 1 facing off against each other. Wombat is the favourite. He won all of his matches except one, which was a 1-1 draw. And that was against me, actually. I may have nearly got
Good.
relegated, but at least I got a result against him. And then Honey Badger, FPL Honey Badger, came in second place. So, tonight's match will be two 15-10 games, so 15 minutes per side and then 10 seconds for every move. And then two games of 5 minutes plus 5 seconds for every move. And we're just waiting for them to get underway. What are you looking forward to about the match, Az?
Well, I had two games with obviously with both of them. I remember my games with Wombat as being probably the two worst games of chess imaginable. Like they were just so dull, and we drew the first one, and just nothing happened. And then the second one was also really boring, and I think I was like a pawn down or something, and he ended up just winning with just because of the extra pawn, because he's so good that even a slight advantage like that and any mistake you make against him, he's going to punish kind of really quickly. So yeah, it should be good. I can't remember my games with Honey Badger, to be honest. I think I might have. I didn't lose both of any games, so I must have beaten him in one and lost to him in one, I think. I don't. Maybe he was one of the first ones that I played, but yeah, I mean my money's on Wombat, but yeah, anything can happen, can't it? So it'll be interesting to see what happens.
Yeah, my money's also on Wombat, but I'm hoping
It started.
It's a close match. They have started, yes, and I'm going to let you into a little secret now. Isaac has been preparing hard for this game. I don't know if you know what the pros do, but they will research openings and I'll have like a second who will practice with them. And yesterday, I actually had a practice match with Isaac.
Oh, is that allowed? Is that against the rules of chess? Unbiased?
It's not against the rules. It's what the pros do anyway. That's the justification. So this is exactly actually what Isaac was expecting.
It's very Queen's Gambit. I mean, it's playing the Queen's Gambit, and it's very like the Queen's Gambit when they're all talking to each other about which moves they should play and what to expect and all of that.
Exactly. Yeah. So you've seen that then?
Oh yeah, it's brilliant. It's what got me, into wanting to play again. Actually, it's I thought it was absolutely brilliant, that series. I loved it.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it as well. It's generated a lot of interest actually, hasn't it? Chess.com users have soared. It's been really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you see that Wombat's gone for this very defensive setup with these 4 pawns in this kind of triangle structure. And it's just the opening phase where the players are getting their pieces out. But what I will say is this is exactly within Isaac's prep. He was expecting this. He's been going through Wombat's games. So we'll see how this goes. What do you make of the move e4 that Isaac's just played?
Yeah, I mean he's taking it. Yeah, because the weakness to me is that pawn on c6. So okay, he's defended it now, but that would be what I'd be kind of looking to target. Yeah, I mean e4. He's got his knight out now, hasn't he? So I guess Wombat is now going to try and push that c pawn, and then he'll have two pieces on the knight on e4.
Yes. Yeah, opening up that bishop on the long diagonal as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
But what Isaac does have is a very strong centre with the pawns on c4 and d4. They could be targets in the future, but it's yeah. There's not a lot of
I like
space.
his queen. His queen on. I like the queen on c2. Coming down there, guarding that pawn on c4, putting a bit of pressure on h7 as well. It's a queen on that file is so much better than it being on just on d1.
Yeah, especially if you line it up with a bishop as well, then you're going to have kind of triple threat on the on h7, which won't happen at the moment because he's tucked his bishop away in the corner with the king.
They've moved very quickly to get to this point.
Yes.
Fast players.
They're both very quick players, but I want them to be spending enough time in the critical moments, and hopefully they will be. If you are in the chat,
it didn't like that.
Oh, what's that?
Didn't like that queen move.
Yeah. So the computer's now saying a slight advantage for white. Can you see why? I can't at the moment.
Nope.
That's a good move, actually. Basically now, Wombat's wasted a move. He's moved it to c7. Now he's just got to move it again after it being attacked. And he's allowed Isaac to get his bishop out into the game. So that was a good move. And I'll be interested to see if Isaac can generate some sort of attack because he's got a lot more space. His pieces are all out into the game. I think his prep might have worked. He's got a decent position, but it's still even on the two.
He has. And the knight's nice on e4. I might even be able to be tempted to take that if I was Wombat, just to because it's kind of a knight in the central position like that can kind of do some damage. If you can get it onto sort of d6, because he's got the bishop on it as well, or onto g5, then he's attacking the h7 pawn.
Yeah, the only downside with exchanging off, I'm wondering, is that knight is very key to actually defending h7.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
That'd be my only hesitation, but I don't know. It might still be the best move.
He's thinking about this one anyway. He's in a much more offensive. I mean, you look at all of Wombat's pieces. None of them are past the 6. Whereas Isaac is pushing forward, isn't he? He's attacking wise. He's looking really, really strong.
Yeah. Yeah, this is an opening called the Catalan opening, which is what he was preparing, where you stick the bishop on this long diagonal, have quite a strong centre here. It's an opening I want to start playing, actually, at some point, but I haven't really looked into it enough. I'm not very good with opening prep. I just stick to the same 2, basically.
What do you play?
With white,
the English, right?
No, I don't play the English. No.
Okay, I've heard you mention it. I think on one of the streams.
I play d4. I usually play Queen's Gambit or the London system, which is another d4 opening, where you just have a slightly different structure, and you can play it pretty much whatever black plays. And then with black, I play the Caro-Kann, or at least against e4. So if it's e4, then I would play c6, followed by d5. What do you play normally?
Started playing the. I used to play the Scotch a lot for white when I was younger. I've kind of forgotten every everything about it. So I've been playing the Queen's Gambit most of the time now, because I learnt it because I watched the TV show and I wanted to play it. For black, I played the French defence, but very, very mixed. I know it really well, but I find it a difficult opening when someone else knows it. My pieces get trapped.
Yeah. Let's have a look at these last few moves then, because quite a bit's developed. So Isaac played knight to g5, h6 trying to chase it away, and then he goes straight into take the knight on f6 with check, and then he captured back with the knight. Then he's retreated. Okay. Yeah, I think.
I'm not really sure what he's achieved with that.
Me neither.
He's in kind of the same position that he was, but it's a bit more like it doesn't look as good now.
Yeah.
How's that for analysis?
Wombat's knight, which was on d7, is now in a much better square. And this offensive knight for Isaac is off the board, so I think Wombat will be pleased with that exchange.
I think he will as well. Yep. And he's got the the free move of doing h6 as well.
Yeah.
Which is always nice, because you don't want to have to make that move, on your own. But if you get the chance to do it and scare off a piece or something, then it's worth doing, just to stop that back row checkmate.
For sure, yeah. I think if I was still to choose, I'd still want to be white here. Yeah, I was just about to say, at some point we should have seen, c5 to open up the diagonal for the bishop. So now we've got, one of the things that's really hard to figure out is what to do, and there's this tension with these two pawns facing off against each other. Do you think either side should try and take?
Well, the thing that I'm noticing is the bishop on b7 is going to be unguarded if that queen moves. So if you took the c5 pawn and he took it back and you took it with the knight, the queen would then have to take it, but then you could take the bishop down in b7 with the bishop up in ge2.
Yeah, that's a good point. I'll just show that on the analysis.
So that wins you a pawn, right?
Yeah, it would do. I'm just going to show that 1 second. Okay. So the live position hasn't come up on screen, unfortunately, but I will show you the analysis. So yeah, takes, and then presumably you're thinking taking with the bishop.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only thing you could take with the pawn.
No, sorry, no, I didn't see the bishop. It doesn't work because that bishop's there on e7.
Though that does kind of, it gives an isolated pawn for that, which is not ideal, but I guess the compensation is he can trade off the bishops, and then that bishop is so important to defend the king. If that's off the board, then that's a result for Wombat.
Yeah. So what would you do here? Would you take it or would you leave it?
Oh no, I've lost you now, Az. 1 second, you just talk for a second while I sort that out.
Yeah, I think I'd still take it, because I'm struggling to see how you can, and you could maybe bring that rook over. Oh, he's moved the knight. Interesting.
That is an interesting move.
He's playing very attacking, Isaac. A lot more attacking than Wombat is.
One of the things I've noticed from playing with him is that he is naturally a more aggressive player. And he was saying to me that in the past against Wombat, he's tried too hard to kind of almost defend because he knows he's playing a better player, which is really not in his nature. So he was talking about trying to actually be a bit more aggressive, because that is how he naturally plays.
It's a bit like effective ownership in FPL. Sometimes you can look at the rating of who you're playing and play differently because you're worried about what they're going to do, and it takes you away from your kind of natural game. I've been guilty of that on chess.com. I think I'm about 1,300 at the moment, and sometimes it might put me against like a 1,500. And I play differently. I'm a bit more cautious, a bit more reserved, and I end up losing when if I probably played normally in quite an aggressive player as well. I don't like to change styles that much. I was aggressive against you. I remember in our game.
yeah, you caught me out on the
About
second game.
half my pieces up the board.
Yeah. I just thought you'd be sick of talking about effective ownership after this last week or so.
Oh, I am. I couldn't resist any link I can make.
Yeah, I remember Dave was really good at the chess, football / FPL analogies, which I don't really have down.
How's your game week going?
Yeah, it's going quite well. I've got Kane captain, and I'm on a small green arrow as it is, up from
Lovely.
78k to 60k. Well, actually, I'm pretty pleased with that. So yeah, just trying to, my target end of season target's 50k.
He's going to lose. He's going to lose that bishop. Oh no, he's not.
Okay, let's have a look at this.
This is it. Oh, why's he done that?
Okay, we need to back up a second and just assess.
It's all happening. It's all happening, Joel.
Okay, so we had knight to d6, then the exchange. So apparently, after the bishop takes on d6, and then when Isaac captures back, the computer obviously really doesn't like that move for some reason. Now, I'm not sure why, personally, but how Wombat responded was by then taking bishop on g7. Oh my word.
I'm really surprised that he's moved his queen up.
Yeah, why didn't he take the bishop back? Because if he takes the bishop back, then this bishop gets taken. What do we have? We have... Well, I guess by moving the queen up, he is defending the bishop. What's the material count?
Well, Wombat's lost a rook.
Wombat's lost a rook. Man, this is complicated.
Because now Wombat can move his bishop up to e7 and kind of escape.
Yeah. Yeah, because even exchanging off that knight would be good. I'm just wondering whether there's some sort of counter-attack. I can't really see it. Just need to stare at this position for a minute.
This is the thing when you've got this analysis stuff. It's great, but sometimes trying to work out exactly what it is. Because every match I have, I always do the analysis. And I always try and work out exactly, when it says, you should have done this move. I sit there for 5 minutes trying to work out exactly why I should have done it.
Yeah.
And then you do it and you're like, that's so obvious.
Problem is, these guys are better than me, so they will know a lot better what's going on. Okay, so at this point, he takes the rook.
Oh, this is not how I thought this would turn out. This bit has all been... Now he's taken that poor g7. It's
So after you take the rook, what is the move? Is it just king takes? Yeah, no. I'm just trying to see what...
I can't understand that. I'm confused as to what's going on. I don't understand these moves.
Basically, after he takes the rook...
Surely
Black's winning, but I can't see why at all.
I mean, I would much rather be in Black's position now.
Right, well, we'll have a look at that later. I'll have a look at that later and see what's going on. Let's go to the live position. What's been going on? Absolute carnage.
Everything's been going on.
Okay, so the material count
It's been a wild ride.
So Wombat has a bishop and a knight compared to Isaac's rook, which is a similar-ish trade. But I feel like Isaac is barely holding things together. Rabbit in the chat said bishop d6, bishop capture b2, king b2, queen c6 check, and black wins a bishop. That's why it's bad. Let me go back and have a look at that. So after he takes the rook, okay. The reason the king is weak and having black light square on that end is much it's very dangerous. Okay, well, it's a very interesting position. Anyway, let's try and keep up with the live position, which is developing very quickly. So, Wombat's been putting pressure on White's central pawns, and he's managed to capture the d4 pawn, hitting the queen at the same time. And I worry for Isaac's position now.
It's very rare that you see a game where every move, that analysis bar goes up and down so much as it did. It's like they played, these are the two best players in our league, and they both, in theory, played the wrong move about 3 times, 3 times in a row between them.
Yeah,
I wouldn't have expected that at all.
I mean, at this point, Wombat can just mop up another pawn on c4, and I think he'd be in a really good position. Is there anything better? Oh, as his webcam's frozen, apparently. That might be on my end rather than his.
I'm here. I don't think it's me.
It will be me. I'm still
all the people that say it's easy, this streaming stuff. It's a nightmare.
I don't know if that's any better. Do let me know in the chat.
That's the move I really liked that Wombat's just played.
Oh, that's a nice move.
Yeah. So obviously, if he takes it, then it's a checkmate.
Exactly. Yeah, I've just drawn that on the board. Yeah, so don't take that knight.
However tempting it might be.
So what does Isaac do here? He has to move the queen, obviously. I'm just trying to think the best square to put it on. Maybe somewhere like c3 to defend the pawn and pin the rook to the king. Instead, he goes back to d2, e2 rather. And it's a very difficult attack to deal with if you are Wombat. Sorry, if you're Isaac. Now he can take the knight.
Yeah, he's got to move that knight now, right?
Yes, I think so. Yeah, it's still frozen the webcam apparently. Yeah, that's definitely.
I bet I'm not in a very flattering pose either. Oh, actually, no. I look quite intense. Everyone's saying Az fixed the webcam. It's not me. It's Joel.
It's definitely me.
Everyone automatically blames me for every technical hitch that goes on in these things, but for once, it's not my fault.
I will try and fix that in the between, just as the next game begins. You might just have to put up with it for now. If you know what the problem is, do let me know, but I'm really not sure what it is. It's something to do with the OBS, the streaming software that I use.
Is your Discord open?
It is open, but it's.
Am I frozen on that?
No, you're not frozen on Discord.
Okay.
If I try and.
I actually think Isaac's dealt with this really well.
Yeah, that's going to make it worse. I think I'm making this worse now. Wait, I hit Discord.
It's always the way. You try and fix it, it ends up crashing the whole bloody thing.
we need to focus on the chess. We need to focus on the chess here. Right, what's going on? So
Yeah, don't worry about me.
it's been an exchange of rooks. G4, Queen C7. That's the live position now. So what's Queen C7 achieving? Do you think? I'm not sure why he did that.
Yeah, good question. Nor am I.
But yeah,
I don't really know what else I've done though. But Isaac's done well, right? I mean, he was dead and buried at one point, and now he's almost evened it up again.
yeah, it's been quite desperate defense, but he's
Mm.
succeeded in defending for now. Chase the knight away. In fact, the knight doesn't really have any attacking squares to go to because e4's
No.
covered, h5's covered, and d5's covered. Queen f2.
Oh, I didn't like that.
So, what's he trying to do there? Maybe bring the
Oh,
bishop to h4.
I've got a good move here, Joel.
Go on.
So if bishop takes on g4. Oh, really? I thought if bishop takes on g. Oh wait, no, maybe it's not a very good move.
Trying to
No, it's not a very good move.
sacrifice piece.
Yeah, no, ignore me.
Were you thinking you could take the pawn with the knight and then hitting the queen
Yeah, I
at the
thought.
same time?
Yeah, it doesn't quite work though.
Yeah, he can defend against the mate fairly easily.
Yeah.
So queen to f4.
The square I'd like to get my queen would be g4, because then you're attacking the king and the rook. But that doesn't look possible now.
I think Isaac's going for the queen exchange here. I think that's a good idea.
Mm.
In fact, he's just pretty much forced the queen exchange because the bishop is trapped. It can't move anywhere.
Yep.
And Isaac will be pleased with that because then the pressure will be off somewhat. And we will be basically going into an endgame scenario where things are really unclear.
Can Wombat actually save that bishop?
Well, I think he has to exchange queens. That's the only way.
If he exchanges though, and then Isaac takes with the pawn, I don't know what Wombat can do with that bishop, because he can't.
Good point.
He can't move it, because the king's going to come to h2.
You're quite right.
And that's going to be that.
You're quite right. I don't think he can save it. So I think the best he can hope for is to exchange for 2 pawns. So basically lose the bishop for 2 pawns.
Yeah.
And then it's 4 pawns against 6, but it's a rook, which is slightly better than a knight. In which case it's really unclear who's winning. But that's apparently not best play according to the computer. You see the engine bar goes from roughly equal to +2 for white. So there might be a way you can wriggle out of this.
This has been a very different game to what I was expecting. I thought it would be a bit cagier. I thought we'd see, I don't know, there wouldn't be too many big moves. The way the analysis thing's been going up and down throughout this just shows. I mean, they're back to, it's 0-0 now. The analysis reckons it's completely even between them.
Yeah, I can't see how the bishop gets out, but there is clearly some sort of way. Yeah, people in the chat are saying, that the bishop is lost, need to give it up for 2 pawns. That's what I think is right. The computer's saying otherwise. There's probably some sort of trick, but that's what I would be thinking.
I think Wombat's just found it.
Ooh. Oh, that's a good move. Yeah. That's a really good move from Wombat. See, this is why he's better than us. This is why he's rated over 1,700 and we're languishing in the 13, 1400.
Yeah. Although it just shows though he hasn't played perfectly, is he? This game.
No, not at all. He's still.
He was, according to the computer, he was far and away had the stronger position.
So the reason that's such a good move now is because if you take, the bishop is free. If you don't take, then you can win a pawn. If you're black, and the bishop will be free. You take the bishop, not the knight. Um,
Yeah.
so well done to Wombat for spotting that, and as I think I did expect that, because it's just an exchange of pawns. But now, by taking back with the knight, has he trapped the bishop? He hasn't. But I was thinking instead of moving the king up, he could have played pawn to g4, both hitting the
No, he
rook and
pushes.
trapping the
Yeah.
bishop in.
Oh dear, this hasn't gone well at all for Wombat.
Oh, of course. Yeah, that's why king h2 is a good move. Because when the bishop goes back, there's the fork. Oh,
The fork.
well
It's not
played.
often you see a fork at this kind of stage of a game.
No. So I think both moves would have been good. The g4 move that I suggested and the king move that he did, I think both would have led to him losing material. This is still hard to win. I still think Wombat could get a draw, but I think if you're Isaac, you'd be very disappointed to lose now.
I completely agree.
Yeah, so like I said before, if Az's webcam is having issues, I'm sorry about that. Before the next game, I'll try and sort it. But for now, we need to keep up with the chess. Also, someone in the chat asked if I had anyone from the Villa game. Just Watkins, that's all. I benched Martinez for Meslier, which may not go well. But I don't know.
What is going on with Grealish?
Yeah, that sounds like mind games.
It's a bit, isn't it?
Yeah. Okay. So. Ooh.
Entering the end game.
Computer really hates King F6, and yeah, he's going to lose. Wombat's going to lose his B6 pawn, and then he's going to have a passed pawn on the A file, which can run to the end.
Isaac's going to win this.
I think he is.
He's in a much stronger position.
He should, at his ability, he should convert this now. I would expect him to.
Chasing that knight all over the place.
Yeah. So now you just take on B6, because that then defends the C3 pawn.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, start running. Start running the A pawn up the board. Here we go.
Yeah, here he goes. Well, he's not going to be able to get it. He can't get his knight on C6. He can't get his knight on B4.
This is where the knight is weak because it can only move a limited amount across the board. And so I think this is just dead loss. So he's going to move knight to B4. But even then, if he just moves A6, he's going to have to sacrifice his knight for the pawn.
I'm surprised he didn't just do A6 on the last move.
It was check.
Oh, was it? Okay, no, I'm not that surprised.
That's a counterintuitive move to exchange off your rook for the knight, but it just makes it really easy for him to run the pawn up the board, and it's unstoppable. Wombat will probably resign.
There you go. Wow. Well, I mean, a Wombat will be very annoyed that he's lost that game because he was in such a strong position halfway through that match.
Yeah, it was such a complicated position, to be fair. It was difficult for both sides to play that, and Isaac held on and then did really well to punish Wombat's small mistakes. So yeah, really good first game.
Someone's asking in the chat if I have Watkins. No, I don't have Watkins. I have double Villa defence. I have Martinez and Target. So I have no doubt that Fulham are going to score in a minute. That Newcastle game really hurt a few weeks ago when got to the 88th minute or something, and then they conceded from a corner. Oh, that was so frustrating.
Yeah,
I don't like the double defence. It's just as soon as you lose the clean sheet, it's just it's horrible.
I had triple City defence for a while. That went really well for me. It really did.
Yeah. Diaz, Cancelo, and Stones.
Yeah, I loved it. It was around when the double game week was double game week 19, and Stones got his goal, and
Oh,
basically I
oh,
caught all the hauls because I owned all three.
yeah.
Okay,
And because the attack's been a bit funny, isn't it? Like De
Mm.
Bruyne, Sterling, all of that lot.
Yeah. Okay. I'm just going to fiddle around with this. So it may look a bit weird on the stream, but I'm just trying to get Az back as best as possible. So I'm just going to try and do a new window capture and see if that works. If any of you actually have a clue what I'm talking about. If you've tried to use OBS before, that's really not helping me. Huh. No.
Lookman's gone off.
That's not what I want at all. Yeah, sorry, you're going to see my amateur streaming skills now as I try and work out how to get Az back. So I do apologise if you're screaming at your computers or phones thinking, Joel, this should be really easy. I'm getting better.
It's not. It's not easy. I've got your back.
The thing is, I'm trying to do a new window capture, but Discord isn't coming up. And I'm like, where is Discord? Help me out. Absolute nightmare. I'm just trying to shut down. I've got loads of random windows open, so I'm just trying to shut all those down and see if that helps. I don't think they started their second game yet, which is good. Gives me a bit more time to sort things out. Or have they sorted it out? Started the next game.
I will let you know when they start.
Come on, please work. Give me Discord as an option. Huh.
I'm a purple box now, Joel.
Yes. It's not happening. It's just not happening. Discord isn't registering at all in the window capture menu, which is getting on.
Their second game has started.
Yes, it's on screen. You may just have to put up with not being able to see Az and just hearing him. This stream is having more technical issues.
I'm sure people can.
Yes.
This stream's having more tech issues than Black Box.
I mean, that's not wrong.
It's because I'm here. I'm sure.
It's just not. I just don't even know what to do. You talk about the chess for a second.
Okay, and they can see what's going on, right?
Yeah, they can see the match.
Yeah, I mean, interesting start. Isaac straight away playing really aggressively again. Got his knight into the centre. So I reckon we're probably gonna have a similar game to what we had last time, which is good because I really enjoyed the last game.
Yeah. This is actually the exact opening that Isaac prepared for as well. So his prep has worked so far. Wombat has done exactly
nice.
What he was expecting, which is great.
And he won. This is Queen's Gambit. This is what they learn. You've got to work as a team to beat the powerful enemy.
I'm just scouring the internet now, trying to find an answer to my question on how to. You need to keep talking about the chess, okay? It's on screen.
There's nothing quite like having to Google something while you're on air. It's always fun. No, it's fine. I mean like I said, I mean I had games with Wombat that were not like this in any way. Both the games we had, neither of us attacked at all. The first game just petered out to a draw. It was memorable because it was so unmemorable. The games that we're seeing tonight are much more exciting. And interesting where they're from. So Isaac's from Norway, and Wombats from Turkey, right?
That's correct, yes.
Very
And
nice.
by the way, there was a picture of a trophy earlier on one of the other screens. I'm actually going to buy that trophy for the win. I haven't done it yet.
Nice.
That's
Nice.
there to send. So I've got to send it off to one of those countries. That'd be.
Oh God! You did not think this through.
Well, never mind.
They're quite reasonably priced, the trophies, aren't they? Because I bought one a little while ago for we did a Zoom night thing and like with games and stuff, and the winner won a trophy. And I think the one I got was about £9 or something. I was pretty happy with that.
Yeah, I think I'm spending about 20 quid, which is not too bad.
Yeah, that's not too bad. If things had gone my way, I would have been in the final. But I think Isaac won. He had one game left. I think if he'd lost that game, it would have been me in this match. But he won, so that's why he's there. And he could go on and win it as well. So so there's two of these. So there's another game in this, 2 Blitz games, right?
Yes, that is correct.
Exciting.
I'm still working on it.
How are they? So Blitz ratings, without knowing too much about how many games they play, Isaac's Blitz rating is 1372, and Wombat's is 1863. So I would say that Isaac needs to win this.
Yeah, he
or at least get a draw. Yeah, interesting start to the game. Isaac's now moved his bishop out. The pieces are nicely developed. And that knight is under attack, but probably not. I mean, the bishop on f1 could come out maybe and put a bit more pressure on the knight on c6, which might be something that the Wombat's thinking of doing.
Yeah, I'm going to have to give up in a second, guys, on having Az on the screen. I do apologise.
They see enough of me.
Okay, it's fine. We'll just have to hear him. Yes, Purple Az is looking nice and dandy. That is good. Let's focus on the chess. So I'm just going to back up to the start again very quickly and go through it. So Wombat played this knight f3.
People just want to watch you anyway, Joel.
Thanks. Because they see you on Black Box all the time. I'm fed up with you now.
I'm boring.
So we looked at this. Isaac actually looked at this opening in a lot of detail, even more than his white opening. This is exactly how he expected Wombat to play. This move c5. He was actually looking into the best moves to play in all of these positions so far. And he even looked at this move where he takes with the knight after the exchange on d4. He takes with the knight and then plays e5, attacking, and then he has to retreat to f3. So, okay. So at this point here, the knight is pinned to the king, so he can just take on d5. Is that a free pawn? Bishop b4 check.
It is.
d2. As far as I can see, that is a free pawn for Wombat, and he is a pawn up. You may have missed something there. Oh, FPL Slovakia, Mitrovic scored. Sorry, mate.
I know.
I feel better about
right.
benching Martinez now, though. So sorry, not sorry.
It was inevitable.
Yeah. Who was the other defender you had?
I got Target and Martinez. Martinez is on 5 saves though.
Oh man, of course he is.
So, yeah, that goal's probably cost him about 8 points or something.
Yeah, because he would have been on bonus for sure.
Always.
If they'll keep a clean sheet. It was Mings' fault. Would be a big result for Fulham if they can close this out.
Yeah, it would. Villa have gone to pot a bit recently, haven't they? It's one of the reasons why I'm wobbling this week. They're dreadful.
Yeah, I think you could easily sell Martinez. I am considering selling him this week.
Have you saw the wild card?
No. I actually used it way back in game week 17, which was the earliest opportunity, and definitely not the template play. But
how are you doing this season? Where are you in the ranks?
Sorry, what's that?
Where are you in the ranks this season?
78k.
Oh,
at the
nice.
start of the game week. I was 3.6 million now after game week 7, so I'm very pleased to be where I am now. That's such a bad start. I know where you are because I've seen Black Box, but is your game week going okay? Apart from this clean sheet
yeah, it's going okay. I've got Trossard coming on tonight, which is exciting.
Okay.
He's coming on for Cancelo, so can he save me again? That's the question.
Yeah, that was a great shout. You captained him, didn't you, last week?
I did. Yeah, I did.
Brilliant.
It's nice when it works. I'd much rather be in White's position here, I think.
Yeah, so I'm just trying to think now. Obviously, the queen's being attacked, so he's got to move the queen somewhere. I'm just wondering if taking the knight on c6 works, because that then in turn attacks Isaac's queen.
Queen.
Yeah.
On a4. Then obviously you take it on d8.
So that would just be actually...
And you'd win a knight, right?
It would just be an even exchange, actually. Because then you can retake the knight. But then Isaac's position is quite good because Wombat would still have his bishop stuck on c8 and on c1 and f1, and Isaac would have a much better piece activity. But Wombat's just having a think at the moment.
I think this is the longest either of them spent on a move.
Wombat's normally a very quick player. I'm pleased though. I think this game could go all the way to the final blitz game. What it should do now. Okay, so queen to b5. What would you play now if you were black, do you reckon?
That's a good question.
You could just castle, I suppose.
Yeah, nothing obvious is screaming out to me.
Actually, you can't just castle because after that you can take the knight on c6, and then after you take back with the pawn, that's removed the defender of the bishop, so the queen can take the bishop.
Yes.
So he does have to deal with that threat.
You could just take the knight on d2. Because that bishop is a bit isolated there, isn't it? Like you say, you don't want to lose that knight which is guarding it.
Yes. Yeah, that might be the best move. The only thing I'd say is that does allow him to develop allows Wombat to develop his bishop a bit, but what else are you going to do? Because that bishop would otherwise have to move probably just somewhere else.
I think he's got to either take the knight or a6. Someone suggested in the chat. Attack the queen.
Chase the queen away. Does the computer like a6?
If you did a6, I'd still take the knight, I think.
Not massively. Yeah, if you take the knight, then...
Hold on. Knight takes the queen, take the queen over the man.
And then you've got these double pawns for black, which are a bit weak.
Doesn't really gain you anything, but...
Yeah, but there are weaknesses that can be targeted later on.
Yeah, this is a lot more kind of. I don't really know what is the best thing to do here. I think if I was black here, I would take the knight on d2, but I can see my a6 is a good move.
Hmm. I feel like this is another complicated position.
It is.
And it'd be one where if I was playing, I'd be feeling very tense and feel like I could just so easily. It's like one little tiny inaccuracy could actually just turn into a huge blunder, and that's it, game over.
Well, this is it. I mean, it's all very well us sitting here kind of judging how people are playing. I tell you, every game I've played in this league, I've been stressed.
He has played a6. You know
He has
what? I
taken the
think
knight.
that was the only move, taking the knight, because if he moves the queen, he can only move it back to, I think, e2, but then you just lose the knight. So I think he's played the only possible move.
The analysis board favours Wombat. Yep.
Well, now, yeah, exactly. I was just about to say, Wombat can take the b5 pawn with check, and he's 2 pawns up now.
Yeah.
So he doesn't have the piece activity, but he does have the extra material. And now either he can't castle, so Isaac might play something like f8 rather than castling, or he blocks the check by moving his knight or bishop back, which will then mean the rook doesn't have this nice semi-open file. So actually, this is quite good for Wombat because whatever black does, it just makes things a little bit weaker.
Would you be looking to swap off at this stage if you were white and 2 pawns up, or would you not swap off at 2 pawns up?
I'm just trying to think. Probably, I probably would. Yeah, because then if the position's a bit simpler, it's you're less likely to then be losing. You might, if the position's really complicated, you make a slight mistake, you might lose a pawn back or something, and then Isaac can turn things around. So yeah, I probably would look to swap off. Okay, so he's going to be chasing the bishop away. Presumably, he wants to be able to move his knight somewhere. And by removing the bishop from that diagonal, then he's out of the pin. Obviously, he can't play bishop b5 because then he can trap the bishop with the move b5. So my guess is that he plays. He plays bishop c5, then b5 for white. Then he can stick his bishop on b2 on the long diagonal. So he might as well move the bishop back further, maybe to e7. I don't know. What do you think? What do you think Isaac should do here?
Yeah. It's a good question. Again, there's nothing really jumping out at me here. It's I don't think there's any point in taking that knight now.
No.
Because he's just gonna allow his bishop to get back into the game. I think that's probably what I would have done. Just push it back. Nice safe play. They're probably both going to castle now, right?
Yeah, I think so. They'll both castle and then try and get their rooks into the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I expect castles here as well. I expect Wombat to go on and win this game.
Well, I was not expecting that.
That's aggressive. Wow.
I was not expecting that.
Me neither. Maybe he's going to castle and then that rook's going to already have a bit of activity. defending that pawn. I don't know.
I'm surprised he didn't castle first.
Mm. Wow, he's going for it, isn't he?
He really is going for it. There we go. I guess he's kind of thinking to himself, I'm in a bit of a worse position here. Anyway, I might just try and kind of take him by surprise and push everything forward and go for it.
I agree. I think that's probably what's going through his head.
Maybe watch, our game.
Yeah. Yeah, because he's leaving his king very exposed, but my word, the computer doesn't like that. Okay, so bishop. I like what he's doing. I think he's got to try and put some sort of pressure on. What was your reaction when Joelinton scored? I did enjoy that, I have to say.
It was funny. I think the commentator just said a very derogatory thing about him as well a little while before. As soon as the commentator says something like that, they're going to score.
Yes, yeah. I'm pleased about that result. The thing is, as an Everton fan, this is obviously a great result, but we're probably just going to lose to Palace on Monday anyway. Knowing our home record this season. Just with a bit more consistency at home, we would be right in the top 4 mix. So it's a bit frustrating.
I know. Yeah. Is James back?
Who knows? I think it sounds positive in the press conference, but if I was to guess, I'd say he'd be on the bench.
It's a bit like Grealish, isn't it?
Yeah.
All the noises are right, but you never know if he's actually going to play or not. Yeah,
basically, Ancelotti just kind of resigned himself to the fact that he's just been having a half fit James Rodriguez for the last couple of months or so, and he was going to take the international break and the couple of weeks before that to just actually get him back fully fit so that he can play more, because before he was going off before 60 minutes because he just was really unfit. So hopefully he can now maybe push on and make a good contribution at the end of the season. What do you make of Bishop A1? What's that all about?
Yeah, I don't know.
My guess is because he wants to keep the bishop on that diagonal, but here it's now defended by a rook.
Yeah, good point. Because if he moves the knight on d4, then obviously he will just lose that bishop on the next turn.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah. It's a funny move, that, isn't it? You're moving the bishop right back into the corner. Very safety first move.
I'm just looking at what the computer
could have pushed the
2.14 to 2.101.
More tempting, I think, to push the
What's that? What are you thinking?
I was going to say I might be more tempted to push the rook up to d2 to guard it rather than pushing the bishop back.
Yeah, and then you can stick the other rook on d1, and then you've got them doubled.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, that's what I thought. Come on, Martinez, make your 6th save.
Yeah, rook e1's a good move. Just check, and then also putting his rook on a nice open file. I think Wombat's going to win this. It's just going to be a slow, gradual improvement of his position until he eventually breaks through. There's just a few too many weaknesses. All the pawns are a bit weak.
Yeah. Well, Villa have scored.
Who scored?
Trezeguet with a Mings assist.
Well, that's useful.
Yep, just the goal everyone wants.
Yep. Okay, so Isaac's going for the exchange. Just trying to think, would you take back with the rook or the bishop here?
Yeah, I probably would have taken it with the rook.
Mm.
Because now you can get your bishop back into the game if he does exchange.
Yeah, it also hits the f4 pawn, so it's got to do something about that. Yeah, that's a nice move. Okay, but apparently that's not a nice move. Ignore me. The computer hates it. I was just thinking you can't take it because of the pin.
Oh, that's clever.
But he's going to lose it anyway after this move rook to f4.
Yeah.
And now this f pawn is a pass pawn, which means there are no other pawns that are on the same file. So it's free to run up the board and become a queen in the end.
Yep. So he could take either pawn now, but he'll take the f3 pawn.
Yes, I expect so. He could also play rook to
e6.
You saw it just at the same time.
I did. Then he wins a knight.
It's game over, I think. That would be 1-1. Yeah, there it is.
Yeah, there it is. e6.
Oh, mate in 1. Yeah.
No, wow. There you go. We were talking about the knight, and Wombat was going for the win.
Much cleaner way of doing it, that's for sure.
Yeah.
That was just a classic case of him building on a small advantage.
Would have been stumbling around for another 5 minutes, Joel.
Yeah, we would have been. Definitely. Yeah, what did you make of that game on the whole then? I thought it was quite an interesting one.
Yeah, it was good. I felt like Wombat was more in control of that one. Again, Isaac is... I really like the way Isaac plays. He's very committed to attacking. Nice 2-1 Villa now. Trezeguet just scored again. Yeah, and you know, when you're playing... When you're watching a game or you're playing against someone where someone's looking to attack, you always get a more interesting game than two more reserved players. So yeah, it was a really interesting game. Just trying to work out where exactly it was, because it kind of swung, didn't it?
Yeah. I think it was
with all this stuff going on, kind of the left-hand side of the board.
I think it was probably when he managed to exchange the queens off.
He only pushed that pawn really on f5.
Didn't it to take on b5. Who got the assist for the second Trezeguet goal, by the way?
Not Watkins.
Great. Not Market either?
Yes, that's what you're wondering. No, I think it was Keenan Davis.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's not been great for our boys. So moving on to Blitz now.
Yes. So we've got 2 games of 5 minutes.
I hate Blitz.
You hate Blitz. How much have you played of Blitz?
So I would definitely favour Wombat in these. Looking at the ratings, it's hard to know because obviously, I mean, I reckon my rating for Blitz is really low, but I think I've only ever done about 2 games in my life on chess.com because I much prefer the longer games.
Yeah.
An 1800 rating for Wombat.
about a 500 point difference, which is a lot. That is quite a lot.
Mm.
I know Wombat got really close to 2,000 at one point, which would be very impressive.
Wow. Yeah. But it will go down to the final game because it's 1-1.
Yeah, exactly. So we will be getting all 4 matches. 5-5's okay. You do still have time to think. When I play Blitz, I often play 3 and 2, so 3 minutes per side and then plus 2 seconds per move. That can get stressful.
Mm.
Very stressful.
What's the increment on this one?
5 seconds.
5. Cool. It's a good result for Brighton with Fulham now losing.
Yes, for sure. I mean, you'll be fine anyway. Especially with...
Yeah.
You should
said that all season, but we should be. You never know.
I'd be shocked if you went down now.
Hmm.
Okay, so similar to the first game in that Isaac's got quite a bit more space once again. But Wombat's planted his bishop on a6 this time, which is interesting. What are your thoughts on the opening?
Pretty solid from both sides, I think. I mean, again, Isaac is coming forward. This is the theme of all the games, isn't it? It seems to be Isaac gets his pieces out and push pawns forward and stuff, and Wombat's happier to kind of play a bit deeper.
Yeah.
I mean, the knight on c4 isn't really going anywhere. It's less of a threat than it was, when it's kind of in the central positions. So I'm not too worried about that. But yeah, it's all pretty cagey at the moment.
Yeah, sorry, Nuclear Atoms. He can't come out of the shadows now because I am technically incompetent or my laptop's not good enough. Yeah, this has all been a big learning curve for me. There's usually technical issues, but I'm just actually quite pleased this whole stream's run. We were on time, and the chess is there. To be honest, because there've been previous streams where
that's the main thing.
Worse.
Yeah,
worse than this. So.
I'm lost to the purple haze.
Yeah.
The purple vortex.
I think what I'll try and do for season 2 is invest in a microphone as well, so that my audio is a little bit better quality.
It sounds not too bad.
Yeah,
I've heard worse.
It's good enough.
Somebody, because Mark is so into all the audio stuff on Black Box. When I listen to some other podcasts now, you can really tell when some people have got good microphones and when some people are, using their laptop or their webcam mics. And I'm such a snob now. I never used to be.
You're an audio connoisseur, microphone connoisseur.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Isaac's taking
audio connoisseur.
He
is, isn't he?
Gosh. He needs to play a bit quicker. I mean, he needs to take his time, but he just needs to play quicker than that.
Yeah. Do you know what he's like at Blitz? Did you chat to him about Blitz at all?
I've played quite a bit of Blitz against him. He is good. But I think Wombat will probably...
Oh, I've got good news for you.
As Watkins got...
Ollie Watkins has just scored.
Yes. Excellent. Should be the green arrow confirmed then. For sure.
In the 87th minute.
Fantastic. It's great news. Okay. I'm just trying to look at the position now. So I do like that move, knight to e5. He took a lot of time, but he played a good move. He was hitting the c6 pawn, which is why he moved it up. And then he's just planted it in c6, right in the opponent's territory. But am I missing something? Why couldn't you just take the... Oh, I'm being an idiot. Never mind. Ignore me. I was thinking you could just take the knight, but I completely missed the bishop being on g7, g2 rather. Okay.
Interesting. Why did he? Oh, yeah. I just did exactly the same as you. I missed the bishop on G2. They always used to get when I was a kid and I used to play in tournaments. I used to play for Essex. My biggest nemesis was the older Fianchetto bishop. Used to get me all the time. I'd just forget they were there.
Yeah. We've got a lot of control over the board, like a whole diagonal.
Absolutely.
So
Isaac's doing well.
He's grabbed a pawn with his knight. Oh my word, the engine bar went crazy for a second there. So after bishop takes the knight, there's a better move than queen takes. I'm just trying to find it. What do you think it is? Can you see it? Because I can't yet.
No. Oh, he's going to lose his queen. No, he's not.
Who's about to lose his queen?
I thought he was, but no, he wasn't. He took... Oh, it was check. Sorry. I keep missing the check, then what's wrong with me? Amateur hour.
Yeah.
Thought it was check.
That's a nice way of getting out of the pin, though. So
it was, yeah.
So yeah, the knight's pinned to the queen, and he's got out of that by taking the bishop with check, and then he can move the queen. That's nicely played. We're going to have a look at that in a minute and just see what was the best move for Isaac, because there was nothing obvious that I could see.
That's why we're not in the final.
That's exactly right, yeah. So Isaac's going to grab another pawn now. He's 2 pawns up.
He's playing really well.
To be fair, oh no, he can't take the pawn on d4. Did he just blunder that? I think Wombat just blundered that pawn.
Yeah, because he can't take the pawn on d4 because now the queen's attacking it.
Yeah, exactly. And that knight is not looking very happy. On d8. Nope. It can't move anywhere without being taken. Although, actually, that's quite a nice move because now... What is it? Okay, so he's attacking the queen, trying to chase that away. I think he should...
Exactly what I would have done. Yeah, queen to c2. Queen to c5, sorry.
I think he should exchange queens. No, he doesn't want to. Okay, shows what I know.
Just... Can maybe get that rook down onto a8.
That would be nasty.
Look at that pawn as well on b4. Like it
can run.
Oh, he can really push down his pieces now. I mean, Wombat is so far in his own half, isn't he? This is the problem with Wombat. He plays so deep, and it just invites. It's a bit like football, isn't it? You invite all this pressure. He's playing like Newcastle.
Exactly. He's doing the right thing. He's not being afraid to get on the attack here, which is really good.
Absolutely. Yeah.
He's a naturally aggressive player. He's got to convert this good position and put as much pressure on Wombat as possible.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a smart move as well. Taking the knight, you can't take back with the queen because then you lose your rook. So watch out for that, which means he's going to have to... He's taking back with the pawn. I was thinking you might take the queen with the rook and exchange queens that way, but...
Going to lose that pawn now on d4.
Yes, he has. Maybe that was a blunder. He's played nice and quickly after that long think.
He has kind of settled him down. Planned out his whole strategy. Because that is the thing. He's playing well, but he hasn't got a huge amount of time.
He's got to get his other rook into the game.
Yeah.
I think Wombat's now trying to create some sort of counter chances, but I can't see any attack being that convincing. Ooh, but he has managed to mop up the b5 pawn, which was a big threat. So that's a relief for Wombat. I think he can breathe a bit easier now.
It's even things up quite a lot.
Yeah, for sure.
There's Martinez with his 6th save.
Of course.
What a hero.
So he'll be on 4 points then, at least.
He's on.
Maybe
Yep.
more.
Nah, no bonus. He's miles off.
Fair. Too many attacking returns on the pitch, I guess.
Yeah.
So yeah, this position's gone from being in White's favour to being fairly level. I think it is because of really positive play from Wombat, getting his rook into the game and counter-attacking and eventually winning the b5 pawn.
It's like you said, it's all about when you've got that advantage, it's just about really capitalising on it, and one or two sort of suboptimal moves, and the other player gets back in. And the trouble is now that Isaac's only got a minute, and Wombat's got 3. So
yeah, he perhaps overextended himself a little bit.
it's never nice when your timer ticks past 1 minute.
Then there's pressure.
There is real pressure. Yeah, absolutely.
It's so easy to miss a tactic when it's Wombat wants his position now to be as complicated as possible.
Yeah. Yeah, that's very true.
Az is not here every stream. This is the second one you've done, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. I did one with
Dave.
With Dave, yeah.
So yes, he's here every now and again, which is great. It's really good to have you.
I haven't done one with you. I haven't done one with you before.
No, don't think so.
Okay, yeah, you've commented on a few of mine, but
yes. Yeah, if you're watching and you do play chess, there will be season 2 of the Charity FPL Chess League in the autumn. It'll be about when the new football season starts. So yeah, you'll be open to new players, which will be great. It'll be great to see more people get involved.
Looking forward to that.
Yeah. Hopefully, I won't have to cope with a promotion playoff that time. Okay, so Isaac quite rightly isn't exchanging queens because that would fix the ruined pawn structure that Wombat has. I can't call this game at all. It could just be down to a draw.
It's just the time. It's just the time, because if I was Isaac, I would be stressed at this point, and I'd be thinking I'm going to make a mistake.
Yeah, definitely.
If I was, I think a draw would be fair as well.
Yeah.
So what happens if it's drawn after the 2 blitz games?
Yeah, if this finishes 2-2, I'm actually slightly regretting this, but I can't change the rules at the end. It's going to go to an FPL tiebreak in Game Week 31.
Wow.
Which would be an interesting way to decide it, rather than it being on the chessboard. I am going to change that next season. I want it to be on the chessboard, because it'd be a bit better, a bit more dramatic. But that was what I decided at the start.
Do you know who won that?
Who won it?
So did you say 31?
31, yeah.
Oh, 31, okay, yes, yeah, of course. I was going to have to wait. We could do all this, and we've got to wait another week to know who's won the league.
There is a part of me that hopes we do get a decisive
result
because of that. So we don't have to worry about that. Wombat's managed to nick a pawn. So if anyone's playing for a win now, it's him.
Very close, this.
Okay. So I'm just having a look back at the moves. Okay, so now... Okay, so the knight is pinned. So how do you get out of this?
He's out.
How does he avoid losing the knight?
Oh, I don't like that.
I think the reason why he could still be okay, it's 3 pawns to 1. If he can get that pawn off the board, just exchange the G3 pawn, then I don't think Isaac will have enough to win. However, he's... Because obviously then once the queens are off the board, the bishop and the king can't checkmate.
He was happy to take the draw.
I think both players were. I think Isaac will have been worried that he might not have been able to stop the pawns marching up the board, although I think he would have been okay. If necessary, he could have just exchanged his bishop off for 2 of the pawns. And I think it would have been fine. And that does just go to show that even with less material in terms of kind of knights, bishops and stuff, it doesn't necessarily mean you've lost. Ooh, so it's all on this next game. Right, who are you predicting to win then?
Oh, do you know what? I'm going to go for Isaac. I think he's been playing really, really well, really aggressively. I think he's not making mistakes, and I think Wombat is struggling a bit to deal with how aggressively he's playing. So I'm gonna back Isaac.
Nice, yeah. I can't call it honestly. It's so hard to call. I'm going to say it's going to finish 2-2. It's going to be.
That's very it's very like my 1-1 predictions on Black Box.
Yeah. Isaac will be very pleased with how he's played. He'll have probably been thinking, I just need to bring my A game and I've got a chance here. And he's done that. He's given himself a chance. He's going into the last Blitz game level. So I'm looking forward to this. It could be hard to keep track of. It's going to be quite dramatic, but we'll try our best to analyse the position.
I think whatever happens, Isaac can be really happy with how he's played.
100%.
Because yeah, like we said, I mean, they're both good players, but Wombat was the favourite, the better ranking. And much better, much more points, right? I mean, he only drew. He didn't lose any games.
No.
You managed to get a draw with him, which was very impressive.
Yes. I seem to do okay against him. I've played him a couple of times before, and I've played well. I think it's for some reason I seem to play better against better players because I know I can't mess up.
Yeah. It kind of focuses you.
Exactly. Yeah, that's right. FPL Slovakia. Winner takes all for this final game. They're just giving it a minute. Isaac said he needs a second to collect his thoughts.
He does. He's doing the Beth Harmon. He's taking all of his pills, his concentration pills.
It's been 3 intense games. To be fair, my brain would be struggling, I reckon, after this.
I know. Luke, your Atom says, I was shocked when Az predicted 4-0 to Leeds this week. I didn't predict 4-0 to Leeds. I said 2-0, I think. I think Mark said 4-0. I said 4-0 Spurs, which was not right. They're terrible, Spurs. I should never back them to win.
Who are you saying is going to get top 4?
Well, I would definitely have said Chelsea before yesterday. I mean, I never expected that. I guess they did have a man sent off. I think it's going to be kind of as it is: City, United, Chelsea, and Leicester. I think Liverpool are going to make a late surge, but I think Chelsea have got quite a decent run. I think it's between Chelsea and Liverpool for 4th.
I'd agree with that. I think I saw a lot of negativity on Twitter yesterday from Chelsea fans, but I think it's just a freak result. They obviously got a man sent off. I don't think there's anything to worry about. I still think they'll finish top 4. I don't see Rudiger being benched again after that defensive display.
No, I know. He's a great option. I mean, yeah, Liverpool just 2 points off Chelsea now. It's gonna be. I mean, their defence though. I mean, with Nat Phillips and
Kabak.
Who's Kabak? Yeah, I don't trust that.
It's the one thing putting me off going to someone like Trent or Robertson.
Yeah, I know.
Don't see the clean sheets happening too often. Right.
I think I might go for Trent.
You might, yeah.
All right, here we go. Last
Let's
game.
focus on the chess. Let's go. So it's the exact same opening so far as the previous game where Wombat was white. He takes for the knight again, just like the last game.
Yep.
Isaac will be pleased about his prep now because he feels comfortable now in this opening. He knows he can get a decent position.
I would say the prep has been key for getting the results he's got today.
Exactly. As the underdog, he needed to find some sort of way to compete. And I think by preparing like he has done, he's done just that. Okay, so the first pause from Wombat, not taking the knight in the middle and just castling. I think that's okay. I would expect Isaac to develop his bishop now. And then castle.
Yep.
Wow. Okay, he takes the pawn. I think. So he's attacking the queen and the rook and the bishop, which means he should take back here, and then he will win back the piece by taking the white bishop. But instead, Wombat's gone for an exchange of queens first.
Interesting.
Now, that knight takes e3 move is something that a lot of kind of more beginner players just wouldn't spot. I think it wins a pawn, doesn't it?
It has done, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I don't think I would have seen that. Very, very clever.
Really well.
This is what I mean. He's playing brilliantly. He's got the rook on a nice file now after the queen exchange.
Yeah.
He's got his rook right, his bishop right down the board now, attacking the rook.
So yeah, the rook's going to move. Now he's got to obviously do something about the bishop being attacked. He's done really well here, Isaac. He's got a nice position.
He really has. He just needs to. This is kind of what happened in the last game, and then he didn't really capitalise on it. So he needs to, he needs to keep at it and kind of cement his position, because you give Wombat too many moves and he'll find a way back in it.
So I was just going to say he's attacking the knight, and if he takes back with the pawn, then White's pawn structure is ruined, which is why he's played knight to d2 to defend the knight. So that he can take back with that instead if he chooses to take. But he probably won't now. He'll probably develop his bishop and castle, which is done.
Could he have taken the pawn on a2 there?
I don't think so. Well, what's the follow-up?
Well, if he takes it with the rook, then he can take his knight. Oh no, of course he can't, because the bishop's guarding it.
Yeah.
Ignore that. Ignore that.
Trying to come up with an equally clever move as the knight. The knight takes pawn, right?
I did, and it failed miserably, which is why I don't try these things.
Yeah.
It was horrible after the last game I did, which you streamed, and then chatting to you afterwards, and I was like, "Yeah, there was nothing I could have done in that position." And you were like, "Well, actually, Az, you could have done this, this, and this, and you would have been all right." And I was like, "Ah, damn it."
It's easy for us to say that we're not playing.
No, it's tough when you're in the game. That's why chess is such a great game, though, because often there are ways out of things which are hard to spot, but very clever.
Yeah, definitely. It is always satisfying when you come up with a nice, clever combination.
It is, absolutely.
It's an interesting sequence of moves here. So he's responded to the threat against his bishop by just attacking the knight, and they've exchanged. I really don't like Wombat's pawn structure now. He's got 2 sets of double pawns.
No.
I don't know what a better move is, but we need to keep up with the game, so we're not going to dwell too much on that.
I'd rather be in Isaac's position, but kind of similar to what happened in the last game. It's a bit more even again now.
What Wombat has done is he's preventing Isaac from castling, because he'd be castling through check. That's a blunder from Isaac. He's just... Okay. Yeah, he's lost the knight. Oh no, he'll be devastated about that. Oh.
That's the first real kind of blunder we've seen, isn't it?
He'll be really gutted about that, because he's good enough to spot that, but this is blitz and there's a lot of pressure.
And it's those doubled up pawns that he didn't like.
Yes.
Well, I suppose he could have just moved the f2 pawn anyway, but still, it's yeah, that is a real shame to lose like that. The knight just with one move can cost you it.
You've got to give
a whole season,
because you put that bishop on the c5, preventing him from castling, and that's caused a lot of trouble.
It has, yeah, that's a really good move.
I don't think there's a way out of it.
Nope.
So down goes the knight, and with it not another pawn.
Oh, I don't know about that either, because now he's going to advance that pawn up as well. Oh god.
He's going to resign in a minute, I think. We'll try and play on for a bit longer, probably, but. We're going to have both players on, by the way, after this finishes, just to have a chat and a bit of a debrief. So do stick around for that.
Yep. Well, Matt's just kind of going through the motions now.
So, okay, rook d8 isn't completely crushing yet, but this rook is pretty much just stuck where it is, on h8.
Now that rook's going to come down. Yeah. I think I mean, if he moved his rook down to d8, he wins a rook.
Yes.
But he's obviously trying to. He can kind of do that anytime, really, because that pawn isn't going anywhere while he's got that bishop on it. So he kind of doesn't need to. Doesn't need to do it. It's always an option.
I don't think he would have won the rook, actually, because he would have needed to take back. Yeah, but this is going to be too much for Isaac.
In this position, it's just kind of how do you win quickest?
Definitely. He can't move his rook on d8. That's just stuck. Horrible position to be in. Okay, he should probably play f4, so he doesn't lose that pawn. I'm guessing.
King back.
Okay, so he's now going to lose the f5 pawn because the king's going to have to move.
Yeah.
Away from its defense. So That's going to drop now. Okay, so he's now going to have to. So the pawn's being attacked twice. He'll probably defend it again, although he would lose the exchange.
Oh, that's strong.
That's a really good move.
Oh God.
Now g5 is going to fall, and I think we'll see a resignation in just a sec.
There's nothing he can do.
Takes with a rook. Will the exchange rooks? Yes.
Interesting.
But now.
See, now we can go to rook to d6, or take that pawn. But once he's got that rook on d8, that's it. Because the rook will have to take, and then he's got the queen.
Precisely. And then he's got the b pawn as well that can just run up the board. I think he'll resign now.
Well, there's absolutely no way he can do anything.
Yeah. I'd certainly resign now if it was me.
Yeah. Because I mean, even the bishop's guarded by that pawn.
Yeah.
It's got to be rook to d6 now, surely.
Yeah, definitely. Yep, so like I was saying. Or that, that's also fine.
Or that, yeah. That also. Well, he just puts it back then.
Well, now he should go. What should he do now? Oh, the problem with rook to d6, by the way, now is that it blocks the bishop's path defending it, so he would lose the pawn.
That's what I mean. I'm not sure why he didn't do that when the rook had kind of come away from e8.
Yeah.
But really, it doesn't matter.
There it is.
There we go.
The resignation.
There we go. I think Isaac will be really happy with how he played overall, but I think he'll be annoyed with losing that knight.
Mm.
And I think Wombat was beatable tonight. So yeah, it's a bit of a shame for Isaac, but he played very well.
Who knows what would have happened if he hadn't made that blunder? He may have gone on to win. You never know. He was certainly playing well enough, and Wombat was certainly being matched on the whole in general play. So, but there it is. Wombat FPL is the season 1 champion.
Woo!
Well done to him. And I'll be sending off a trophy to Turkey. I think to remember this by.
Which one's closer? Who are you hoping won so that you will not have to send it as far?
Norway would have been closer, right?
With it, yeah.
So that's it. That's a wrap on season 1, but we will have the players joining us on the call in just a moment. Have you enjoyed the Charity FPL Chess League, Az?
I have. It's been great. It's been really nice just playing some chess again, and having a bit of competition in there as well has been really nice, and it's inspired me to play more on chess.com and try and get better. So yeah, I'm looking forward to next season as well. Hopefully I'll be able to kick on and might even get into the finals.
Brilliant. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it too. I'm hoping Dave plays, but he'll probably thrash us all.
Well, he is incredibly confident about his ability. He was like, I think he even said to me, "There's no point in me playing because I'll just win every game." And I was like, "Wow!" When you're saying that, you're either, you got to back it up if you say that, basically.
Yeah, but we need more competition for Wombat because he's clearly the best player. So.
Yeah. Maybe there should be another league with Dave and Wombat in, and then the rest of us stragglers making up the rest.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I might put on a tournament, by the way, at some point. Maybe one afternoon. I haven't, decided on any details yet, but
that'd be good.
I'm thinking of doing that because it's a while until the new football season. But we'll give it a break first. There's been quite a bit going on, so yeah. Now we'll wait for them to join us on the call. I've told them they can when they're ready. What's the game going on now? Is it Wolves West Ham?
No, there isn't one at the moment. Villa's just finished, but Brighton United is starting in about think it's in about half an hour.
Hey guys, are we live?
Hey Isaac, well played. You're unlucky.
Cheers. Yeah, I'm kind of ruining my misses there. I had a couple chances to make it, but couldn't do it.
You're just losing that
Especially
night.
Yeah, that one miss in the last game, that stings, but it is what it is. The games were good.
We thought you played really, really well, and we thought your preparation paid off. The games went exactly as you predicted based on the past games.
Yeah. Very happy with that.
Yeah, it was just that mistake, wasn't it? Apart from that, I take it you're really pleased with how you played.
Very pleased. The last mistake is a bit, it is rated like 500 elo points above me in place. So
Yeah.
I always knew that I probably had to win the first two matches, the first two games.
That's what I
have any
said.
chance. Yeah, because at Blitz he is just so good.
In the first Blitz game, you played really well though. Like your position was really strong.
Yeah, thank you.
And you didn't do anything wrong. It's just Wombat kind of managed to get himself back into it, and then they managed to get the draw. But yeah, the first kind of 10 moves or so, I think you played. I was rooting for you in the end.
Thank you.
I thought you played really well. I liked your style, like really aggressive. In every game it was Wombat playing, a bit like Newcastle. Really conservative, 10 men behind the ball, all that, and you were the one that was really looking to attack. So,
oh my god,
Wombat did well to weather the storm. I think of your attacking play.
Hey, Mr. Wombat.
Somebody called me Newcastle, so
I did.
I don't know how to take it.
Maybe you're a little bit better than Newcastle. Maybe that was a bit harsh. But
well, if you are Newcastle, then I'm probably someone like.
But Isaac leads
or Brighton.
He is lead. Yeah, it was two different styles in every game. I thought.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, Wombat. It kind of reminded me of the games we had when it was just really. Both played really conservatively, and it just. I think I got a draw in the first one, and then I think you went a pawn up in the second one, and just kind of rode it out. But the games you two had were really entertaining, really, really exciting. Both, all four of them, really, all different and varied, and yeah, really, really good.
Thank you.
I also enjoyed. Great job, Isaac.
Thank you. Yeah, it was super enjoyable to play. I'm not sure if you realized, Wombat, but I did some preparation for these games. I did look up what openings you usually play.
You could tell.
And you got the result, yeah.
And guess who was helping him, Wombat?
No, that's for sure. That's for sure.
Joel was helping him. I mean,
Yeah.
Unbiased, our unbiased leader helping Isaac to beat you.
I was helping the underdog make it a more enjoyable experience for the viewers with an entertaining match, right?
Yeah, that's well said.
Definitely.
I think that was a great show for the final.
Yeah, definitely. Very happy with that.
Yeah.
I'm kind of sad to lose there, because I really feel I could have won, but in the end, the best player won the final. So.
Yeah, they were really, and I mean, to only have one. I mean, honestly, you should watch back on the first game you had, because there was a period of play where you were both making moves that the computer hated. It was like one of you would do a move, and your thing would drop down, and the other person would move, and then their thing would drop down. It was crazy. It was a really difficult position. Joel and I couldn't see the best moves to make, but it could have gone either way. That first game, at one point, it was really. And Isaac, you were like dead and buried at one point, and then you came back and won it. So
yeah,
it was really, really, really good.
It's a crazy sharp game, wasn't it? That one
was, yeah,
incredibly sharp. I think that can happen sometimes with the computer, where it sees a winning move for one's play. It's really complicated.
Yeah,
something only computers and maybe super GMs see.
Yeah.
And then you don't make that move, and your your rating, so or the stockfish rating, you know what I mean, drops down, and then you get another opportunity, and so on and so forth. But yeah, super happy with the games and looking forward to next season.
Yeah, me too.
Great.
Thanks for organising, Joel.
Yeah, thanks, Joel. So it was a nice season, I think. And I really enjoyed the whole experience. Thanks a lot for organizing and for your time.
No problem at all. I've really enjoyed it. It's great to see some fellow chess players in the community, and yeah, it's been really great to put on. Congratulations, Wombat. How do you feel to be the season 1 champion?
Yeah. So my head is exploding. So Isaac was really great in the final. So he made me look like a Newcastle, like you said. And I
gonna
think,
forget that.
Thank you.
yeah,
Thank you.
I need to learn to play against the attacking players, because he was so attacking and very entertaining, and I had so much trouble all the time. But I enjoyed it, so was good. I'm happy. I'm very happy with the outcome as well, because actually Isaac could have won this very easily as well. So he just blundered the last one. So if he didn't do that, he could really won. So maybe next season. So we'll see. So yeah, like I said, so thanks for organizing. Enjoyed the experience, and it's nice to meet with the people around the world.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, so thanks.
Yeah, very nice to finally talk to you, Wombat.
Yeah,
I think this is
me
the first
too.
time I hear your voice. But yeah, very kind words from one of the best players I know. Very motivating to improve for next season. And if there are any viewers out there who want to join next season, I think, Joel, there will be more places in the divisions, right?
Yeah, that's right. There will be. Depends on how many entrants we get, but yeah, I will be kind of adjusting the structure as required. So if you're interested in playing, yeah, just send me a DM and let me know you're interested.
Sure.
Yeah, we'll take it from there.
Nice.
And Wombat, there is a trophy that is will be on its way to Turkey.
Okay, great.
So yeah, I'll message you about that later on. Great. I guess we'll wrap it up there then. Thank you both for joining us and for giving us such a great final. It's a really good way to end the season. And thank you, Az, for joining me today, even though we couldn't see you for a lot of it.
Nah, no one wants to see me. It's fun.
Great. So thanks for everyone watching as well. Obviously, we wouldn't do these streams if we didn't have people tuning in to watch the action. We hope you enjoyed it, and hopefully we will see you in the autumn for season 2. But yeah, goodbye for now.
Bye-bye, guys.
Okay, the stream